August 19th. J6 updates and news. Happy Sabbath. What's up, Patriots? It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We got tons of news and updates today. Hello, Colleen Engelman, you are correct. We're on the shores of the Potomac. I'm sure George Washington hung out here at one point in his life. Hello, Beverly. Has Hurricane Hillary arrived yet, or are we just going to hear about it for a week? Hello, Lee Bart. I had just another wonderful sleep last night. Undisturbed. The sun didn't hit the fan till I was already awake. It was great. It was, oh, and I got my my pool clothes on. This is like my swimming pool outfit. Because that's where I would be if I didn't have to be here. Unfortunately, Joe Biden is sitting in the White House. Unfortunately, there's 1,100 J6ers. There we go. How's that look? Unfortunately, there's a lot of screwed up stuff going on. And it's exhausting trying to keep tabs on it. So thanks for joining me. Let's keep tabs on it. Had another awesome vigil last night. Of course, the main event of the day was Bart Shively is free! That's right. Freedom granted to Bart Shively. Glory, hallelujah. And with Bart's release is a great message of salvation. So I would say I can believe any word that Bart Shively has to say at this point. He relied on Christ. Christ saw him through and released him from the prison. Right down there on the movie set, Dead End Road Cemetery Jail, released from prison. It was a great victory, and it was a victory in Jesus. Now, Nicole is back from New York, the America First warehouse. I'm going to resituate. Some cool airplane action that happens here. Just gonna do a quick. There we go. Okay, got it. Go! Watermark. Alright, we're back on track. Yeah, Bart, when you give Bart the microphone, you're gonna hear about Jesus. That's the way we're supposed to be. How else is anybody going to know in this world if we don't tell them? Once you tell them, it's not in your head anymore. So yeah, Nicole came back from America First Warehouse. She was all peppy, man. They did a lot of cool stuff there that they filmed that they'll probably use for other things later. Katie let us in. Oh, that's from Joe the Box. Now, I don't know if they got a YouTube channel or what, or if they're on Twitter, but I'm not aware of what Joe the Box's social media is and America First Warehouse. So I could use some information on how do you see Joe the Box's work. Like when he comes down to Freedom Court, he's got that van. It's a fanfare. It's cool. It's fun. It's how it should be. So I'd like to see where we can get in touch with him. Katie led us in the Lord's Prayer last night. And if there is one prayer, if you pray one prayer a day, that's the one to pray. It covers pretty much everything. And if that's all the time you got to pray, then that's the one you should be praying. It's the one prayer that Jesus said, pray like this. All right, then Tammy took a phone call from Matt Da Silva, the thinking man. DOJ is looking at attempting to sentence Enrique Tarrio to over 30 years in prison for the trumped up charges that they've charged him with. And when was the last time you heard of a 30-year sentence? And what was the crime you heard it for? I mean, I can't even remember one. People get away with murder and they get 7 years, they're out in 4 with good time. A 30-year sentence. So this is an example where the Oathbreakers was a trial for them to see what they could get away with. They got Stuart Rhodes with 18 years. They're going for broke now with the Proud Boys sentencing. And they're just going to keep doing it. This Amplification is happening everywhere right now. It's happening with the sentencing there. It's happening with the prosecutions. They're getting more money. They got more lawyers. They're still going after people. When they're done with the Trump people, who are they going to go after? You and me. This has got to end now. The same thing. They're ramping it up instead of holding back. They're just in our face with it, and this is why we have to get off the sofa and do something. Jump in wherever you can. We are at war. The DOJ doesn't even acknowledge that the Antifa exists. These are the people in charge of justice. How can they be so ignorant? Comer brought up the fact that FJB was using 9 aliases in texts and that took too long. He's using 9 aliases while he was telling the Ukrainian government to fire that guy. I'm just having too much fun, man. How much more dirt's got to come out on Biden before, and how much inaction from our law enforcement do we got to see before we just take matters? We got to do something. We got to march on DC. We got to do something. The crimes are in our face. The lack of prosecutions are in our face. It's decision time. Collusion, cover up, war. We're at war. Only one side has a death count, though, because we're peaceful people. Chinese do the exact same thing, and that's the exact same thing they're doing in Brazil and all across the world. The same battle is happening in all the countries, many, many countries of the world, and it's ramping up on multi-fronts. Then, all right, more J6 Freedom Corner news. We got word that Victoria White and Coach Bonowitz took plea deals, which was the corner they were backed into. These are raw deals coming from them. They scare you with massive sentencings on the people who went before you. You know, they freak you out into taking a plea deal. None of these people were guilty of what they just pled guilty to, basically. None of those people took part in wickedness. And to be noted, Bart Shively also took a plea deal. That's the corner they break you in. They back you into. How would you stand? There's some people that are standing up and they're going to have a trial. There's a couple guys that are representing themselves or taking matters into their own hands. You can't get good lawyers here. You got to be a millionaire. Justice costs money in this town. John Manafo, I think, had a hearing too, that he mentioned that the hearing had 11 of his charges dropped, and 3 is what he'll be tried on, according to how I understand that. And then we had an awesome national anthem, a lot of cool flag waving. And Baltimore Steve was back, and I think he's coming out of his shell. Blues Brother tune came on, and he just did a harmonica dance thing, just like Belushi, right there. It was great, man. That's how Belushi danced. I mean, it was a great imitation. And we also had a couple visitors that come back every once in a while. We had Mickey Cash there, who went in and visited 2 J6ers. Yesterday was visitation day, by the way. And her and her friend Jen went in and visited 3 or 4 guys And then the guys mentioned how cool it was on the phone later on when at the last phone call when we did the national anthem. And they on the phone call, they officially certified Mickey Cash as cool. I mean, we knew that. And Jen. We all knew Mickey and Jen were cool. But it's been certified now by our heroes. And Mickey Cash welcomed them into the family because we're family patriots. This is the new family. This is our new village, okay? We all don't live in a geographical same spot, but we are a village right now. We're a family. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna just read a little chat here. Hello, Patty Leah. I gotta catch up on what y'all were talking about. Oh my goodness, some people just don't have lives. Enrique said himself that he has been an FBI informant for many years. I don't think so. Hi, Patty Leah. Beverly, they aren't ignorant, they're calculated, all by design. Exactly. That's called collusion and a conspiracy. Greg Kelly, we're talking about J6 and Freedom Corner here. Yeah, Colleen. I wish they made like a large letter keyboard or something. This is unbelievable. What a horror show. It is a nightmare. It is sickening. That's right, Stu. Amen, Colleen. God hears our prayers. That really scares them. Well, this is a smoke break part of the show. We've got cool views, 360 here, so I don't know. Great view. We've got boats skipping around on the Potomac today. Yeah, Patty, it is hard to keep up with everything that's going on, and that's by design also. So that's why we got to stay focused. Now, when I get into the news here, one news item is just jumping out, and that is Maui, Hawaii. Laying up. There's a lot of distractions, like Hunter didn't pay taxes. You know, we'll get him later. A lot of distraction stories. Yeah, they know. It does scare them because they know in the end they will pay the ultimate price, Kelly. Exactly. Yeah, I gotta get some water. So we're about to get into some news here. If anyone's got news they heard that they found interesting, definitely contribute to the chat. We're all eternal beings. You'd think you want to go to the nice place for eternity, but no. Demons talk people into going to the bad place for eternity. It's not going to be good. Greg Kelly, I do believe that the power company story is bullshit. And that is the cover-up story on Maui right now. Let's talk about Maui. All right, I'm ready to go on Maui. There could be any variety of theories as to why a government would want to burn people out of a piece of land. And we've got the story, they want to build a 15-minute city there. Bullshit. That's not the truth. Well, it's probably not the truth. I'm going by like probabilities here. There's another theory saying they want to make a military base there so they can fight the Chinese in 2025. You know, these stories just pop up all over the place. But what the point, the thing we need to pay attention now is the drone footage that came in off of, that somebody shot over Maui. I want to see that footage. The melted cars on a beach, on a piece of pavement. I don't care how hard the wind is blowing on a fire on the land side of a road. It is not going to melt a car like that. Something happened there, and we got to get to the bottom of that. And that was an attack on us, we the people, and we got to stand together. We got to stand together with the Hawaiians right now and get on this. Don't know what to do, but if the Lord compels your heart to do something about it, get on it. Yeah, I heard about the TSA mask mandate thing again. But again, Mary, is that a distraction story? That's for September. When did they ever come out and tell us something that they're going to do ahead of time like that? That's probably a distraction story to keep us from snooping around the Maui thing. That's how they operate, Mary. I mean, Patty, Leah, that's what I heard and been hearing, and that will start another lockdown. Yes, that's one of their old playbooks. Yeah, the melting of the cars. I have a lot of experience with fire. I burned up stuff a lot. I like having bonfires, really, really big ones. up in the mountains, and it's safe. But there's no way you can park a car next to the biggest bonfire I ever built and melt the car. Something seems to be superheating metal, which then catches everything on fire. A long time ago, there was a guy who had a channel called Mental Boost. And he was filming all the weird anomalies in the fires that were happening 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. That's when I started looking at this. Right, did the asphalt melt? No. It's like stone and concrete is not affected, but metal just disintegrates. Like it's almost like if you could somehow just superheat all the wiring in somebody's house at one time, it would eventually catch all the studs in the walls on fire. The whole house would be engulfed in flames pretty much at the same time. Normally a house fire starts in a room and spreads to the rest of the house. And you'll see half-burnt houses. We're not seeing that. We're seeing houses that are burnt to the ground. Yeah, we got Oprah buying up land there. I told you yesterday I have 2 people I know in Maui, and I got word that they are safe. That wasn't their part of the island. They did say that side of the island is drier. I didn't talk directly to them, but I talked to the one guy's dad yesterday, and they're safe. So I really want to call them up, record the phone call, and put it on YouTube. I don't know anything about the Falklands War, Greg Kelly. You just got a lot of information, Greg. You should start your own YouTube channel, Greg. You're all over the place with the information, bud. Let's stick to the topic. We're talking about Maui, you're talking about the Falklands War. I'm not up on my Falklands War info right now. All right, here's all the topics about it I found out. I'm hearing, all right, so some local streamer stuff is coming out. Police had blocked escape routes. Local streamer says. Herman Andea, the main emergency management agency, the head of that, resigned. He said he wasn't sorry for any of his actions. He said the sirens were not deployed because he thought people would run into the fire. Because he thought people would run towards the fire. His exact quote is, people would have run into the fire. They have mysteriously removed the permit system there to build a house. They want to remove the permit system because they want to build in a safe and humane manner so that this can never happen again. What do you think is going to happen to the locals in that instance? Government is totally in control of the permit system. Maui residents that were not burned out are being evicted right now. I wonder if that includes Oprah. Patty Leah. They want the land that was burned. Exactly. Somebody wants it. Who wants it and why? Insurance companies are denying policies on infractions. This is information coming out of Maui now. Josh Green, governor of Hawaii, signed an executive order. There's a book out already on the bestseller list called Fire and Fury by Dr. Miles Stones. Let's look up who Dr. Miles Stones is, because Miles Stones, this is another one of these goofy names. Public humiliation time. We just burnt your island up and it's a milestone. Get it? Hey, right on, Josh. Well, we're at the right place, because man, it is so gorgeous out today. There seriously was, the water department didn't release water to the fire departments because of woke ideology, because they need to worship the water appropriately. Yeah, how could they put the book out already, or even before? The melted cars. I mean, just look at them. That's why I want to see that drone footage. Still haven't seen it. Obama has come out and asked for relief aid donations. Now here we got a play right out of the Clinton playbook. Yeah, Colleen, something ain't right. Obama's asking for donations. So this is what happened in Haiti when they had the earthquake, hurricane disaster. They put the Clintons in charge of the donations going to the country of Haiti. And $1 billion disappeared, basically. No questions asked, no prosecutions, nothing looked at. Walked away with $1 billion. And here's the cherry on top. Herman Andaya, the emergency management manager, was in Waikiki at the time, attending a FEMA disaster preparedness seminar. While they're lighting up Maui, their emergency chief is at a preparedness seminar run by FEMA. So that's the horrific world we're living in, folks. Cleo. Colleen Engelman, they're all whack jobs. We got the sheriff from the Las Vegas shooting. We got this Herman Andayev guy going to seminars while the island burns. We got the guy who runs the water department who worships the water so much you can't put your house out if it's on fire. We got Obama, the famous Hawaii resident, asking for donations. Wonder why they made him build a house in Hawaii. Do you think they had this planned? Do you think this was planned? Hawaii, we can't get to Hawaii. That's the whole thing. And then they're having a meeting on how to have an AI government. They want an AI government to run their they want AI to run their government there. They're going to have meetings about it. They're probably going to pass it. This is New World Order taking over one of our states. Yeah, what about the insurance companies not paying? Do we pay money to those same insurance companies? We should find out about that. Because you don't want to be funding your enemy, do you? And then we have the big mask scare as of today. The mask scare has started. There's a virus in Canada. Who runs Canada? Trudeau. Oh, the WEF, Castro's WEF love child is running Canada. And Canada says there's a new virus out there we gotta be scared about. See, it's easy when God gives you knowledge and a little bit of wisdom and throws some discernment over it all. I can just laugh at this stuff, but they're gonna fool a lot of people. Ferg, all right, Canada, you go, Canada. You got a handful up there. We got a handful down here. They got a handful in Brazil. They got a handful in New Zealand. They got a handful in Netherlands. They got a handful in Iceland. They're everywhere, worldwide right now, worldwide. Come to Jesus, wake up, and enjoy the show. We're in psychological warfare right now. We are in combat warfare, but we don't know it yet because only our side has taken death, casualties. We got to realize our position. We got to evaluate our position. Put our finger on the problem. Come up with a solution. This country's government does not represent us anymore. It is a unit party. They both work together to enslave us. They have done nothing for the J6ers since 2.5 years ago. No substantial aid has been given to them by the Democrats or by the ACLU people. ACLU people just stood around and watched their civil rights disappear. Didn't throw a penny at it. Who's giving money to the ACLU out there? Might want to consider your actions. Yeah, I'm PO'd also. I'm gonna get this one. Yeah, Republic Road Reel. I want to take a bike ride down that someday, like a multi-day bike ride. It's nice and flat. It's easy. No hills. They're making a mockery of our justice system, to the point where we can't believe in what they... All right, we have established a justice system, and we call that system law and order. They have taken that system and made it detestable. They've made that system a mockery, to the point where we have a paradigm busting moment here where we go, well, do we not believe in law and order anymore? Because they have just made it so detestable to try to follow how they could perceive our law and order. So now, do we not believe in law and order now? But no, we believe in law and order because our God established law. He is the father of law. Law and order comes from God. Law and order are attributes of God. Let's talk about Georgia for a little bit. Every form of fraud has been proven to have occurred in Georgia. Dead people voted. They found that to be true. Underage people voted. They found that to be true. People who moved out of the state voted. They found that to be true. Yet, no election fraud trial has occurred in Georgia. It's all been proven already in hearings and papers and testimonies. And maybe this Trump thing down there is just the way it's all going to get presented to the nation. So we almost like got to grab people by the ears and make them watch it, you know. GPAT, yeah, little by little they've taken us over, so we can't let them get away with a little bit. The more I learn about this Maui thing, because not too long ago, they just changed some rules. What was it? Like within the last 6 months, they just changed some rules down there pertaining to the housing and what you can build and what you can't build. And most people didn't pay attention to it because it didn't immediately affect them. It was only in the event of a disaster that this new rule we're making is going to come into effect. And everyone was not in the midst of a disaster. It wasn't going to affect anybody if their government made this little rule, which is now coming back to haunt them. And I believe that is the permitting system. They're not going to be able to get permits to build what they had there all before the fire. So little by little, increment by increment, death by 1,000 paper cuts. Time to stand up, people, for freedom before they take it. That's right, Ferg. They have taken it. We're a little further down that path. And how do we stand up? What does that mean? Does that automatically mean violence? No. But they would like everyone to believe that. If we're going to stand up, everybody should be scared. Those MAGA Trump people are going to stand up. Mike Lindell's going to be having an election summit meeting and discuss how do we have fair elections. So this is topic number one for the country right now. What do we do to secure this next election? We got a year and a half to figure out how we're going to secure this next election. And I would say we got to throw every resource we have at that. So if that means volunteering to be a voter worker, a poll worker, stepping up to serve on the election boards, we can be poll observers, we can register people to vote, this is going to have to be activated real quickly here. And I believe that the only way that we can secure the vote is to have paper ballots counted by hand and then thrown in boxes when they're done and kept for storage. And maybe even just count them again. Count them again. Have a temporary paper ballots counted by hand. They let Hunter go. That's another kind of, who didn't see that coming story. I believe that they will throw more at us before election. Heads up, all. There you go, Cleo. Fair warning. Heads up. Knowledge, wisdom, discernment. What's the real story? Elections. Where's their real attack? Maui, right now. Where was their real attack 2 years ago? The sickness. The next sickness could be a head fake, so just heads up, it ain't here now. I don't see people dropping over dead. The hospitals aren't full. They weren't full last time, and I knew that because I was watching live streamers. We gotta get our network, we gotta get our reliable sources, our information through this Patriot project, the last year and a half with the People's Convoy, with 1776, with Mickey and Nicole and the J6 Vigil. I think we can all figure out who the good resources are now. And there's a lot of them. Nebraska's doing something live today. We got Nebraska Patriot. And there's a lot that have been there. A lot that have proven themselves not to be good sources. But still, the net gain is we got 50 streamers that we have all met in the last year that we could probably still consider good sources of information. And if we get into a more intense situation, a more intense attack on us, we got streamers on the ground ready to do it. Right now I'm filming the Potomac with y'all, talking about news, but if there was something going on and it was within 30 miles of me, I'm there. I'm going there. The other night after the vigil, there was a helicopter patrol that kept just flying around the city till 11:30 at night. And it was definitely odd. And earlier in that day, I was doing a stream on the other side of this peninsula, and a helicopter went by with missiles under it. And I thought, man, did I just see that? And then later in the day, Sherry said, hey, did you see that helicopter with the missiles on it go by? So I know what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing here also that we are protected on Freedom Corner. We got a prayer spot there that is respected. You got to put up with some stupid riffraff once in a while. This spot is way cooler when they're coming in for a landing here, because they come in from the other direction and they're real low, coming in right over the river. Hey, Sunkist. Silly, are you not feeling good? Yeah, we're working hard, Silly. We got to pace. Glad we got you, G-Pat. Thanks for modding for us. Everything seems to be going great. Yeah, we got to clean up our voter rules. There should be rules about cleaning up our voter rules. Possibly that you should have to register every 10 years or something. I think there is rules like that. Maybe it's not everywhere though. Hi, Bonnie. And throughout all this now, something that I've seen is something called projection. Projection. I believe there's scriptural relevance to understanding projection. There's verses that say about the words that come out of a man's mouth reveals what's in his heart. We're led to believe that the brain operates our nervous system. That's what the scientists tell us. The Bible is more centered on your heart, your innards, your liver, and that is considered, when I really got into it, it's more thought of as the center of your being. You know, you are not your brain, but more like your internals, your insides. And I think that's true in other religions also. The brain is like another organ that operates your nervous system. Your feelings and stuff come more from the gut. So I understand it better that way than thinking about I'm forming words by electric synapses that are happening in my head, and they fire off electrons and neurons like the scientists told me. They bamboozled me with an elemental truth in that your feelings come from within. The words that come out of a man's mouth reveals what is heart. And there's other verses that every time I read, I'm like, that verifies that idea that I am my internals, you know. And this body is a temple that God can dwell in, you know. It's a vessel also that all the good ones are broken, because then God comes in and fixes them better than they were before. So this idea of projection is wisdom. If somebody's yelling at you, you don't love me, you don't love me, you don't love me, they're saying that they don't feel loved. Somebody's going, you're trying to rip me off. is probably trying to rip you off. It's that simple. So when you see the government of Maui coming in and saying, we couldn't turn the water on because the water is holy, we should honor the water in a better way by using it less. You could see how they're projecting what they want to do to you. They want to take water away from you. There's all kinds of instances of that, and when you can see things in a clearer mind like that, praying for discernment, gaining knowledge, wielding knowledge, discovery. God is the God who hides everything from who he wants to hide it from. And he'll reveal what he wants to reveal to those that ask him. But you gotta ask him. You can't just go, God, reveal everything to me, because your brain would explode. And God, in his love for you, won't reveal everything to you, because you wouldn't be able to handle it. So just learning to see what the fact that projection can be true in a lot of instances is wisdom. And then you can define your enemies. You can define problems. You can find solutions a lot better. And when you start thinking about somebody yelling, I don't love, or you don't love me, is because they don't feel loved. Now you start to see the real message in the Bible about love your neighbor as yourself, and love your enemies. It takes a lifetime to learn that one for me. Amen, G-Pad. Jesus is our guide, for sure. And I take it all the way back to the Ten Commandments. Are we obeying the Ten Commandments? Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your mind, all your spirit. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Which really says, do not take Yahweh's name in vain. The Lord is a fabrication. Every time you read the Lord in the King James Bible, that is a translation of the four-letter name of God, which occurs over 6,000 times in the Bible. Like when George Bush went to China, they didn't invent a new name for him. When he went there, they called him George Bush. You don't reinvent a name, you translate the name. So first of all, the replacement that they used for it was the Lord. Not just Lord, the Lord. So that's wrong right there. Because he is Lord. But that's not his name. Oh, G-Pad, you're good. I think we're having a good time here. Good training. Learning from some of the best of them there. Something for him. I just like information going out, you know. Information is so suppressed right now that One thing about having this YouTube channel is getting information out to people that might be looking for it. I don't know, man. It's just so nice in this. All right, Katie. See David later tonight. All right, Jeep pad, here we go. Here we have some learning experience. How much longer will you be hanging around DC? 1776 is gone now. Isn't it time for you to go home? Yeah, Colleen, there's tons of information out about voter fraud, and somehow or another, they did not allow it to enter into the courts due to standing, lack of standing. I don't even know what that is. We want our courts to determine what is a crime and what isn't a crime, and they refused to put it through the court. Yeah, David's got some cool stuff, Drifter Shelley. Santa dissolved 1776. Oh, he did? I didn't know that. Remember when it first started? Cowboy Santa said it would be a dictatorship, not a democracy. You're not sounding too bright, freedom. I don't know what they're doing, freedom. Apparently you do. We came to the conclusion that it was overheating, and that's how a phone starts to go out when it gets too hot. Certain of the functions will stop working, but it'll still be broadcasting, and that, like, the chat will disappear. Next you'll lose Zoom focus or something like that. So I think it was overheating of the phone. I was just more careful with it. I saw you left me a comment too, G-Pat. About getting me a cooler for the phone, but I already have one of those. I use it all the time. Right before a live, I'll chill the phone out a little bit. Get it up to like 80%. Plug in the booster battery and just keep it in the shade the whole time, and that's been working. Plus it's cooled off nicely here. Yeah, we're talking about J6. Freedom starts talking about Santa. Like, when did 1776 even start, you know? I was lining up with Santa in Hagerstown, so was that 1776? He didn't say anything about being a dictator then. All I know is we were going into DC and he led the way. toy with you for a little while. Then we'll ask you to leave. And then we'll make you leave if you're just a pain. It's the Sabbath, brother. So back to the Ten Commandments. Love the Lord of God with all thy heart, mind, spirit. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Honor the Sabbath. Ten Commandment number 4. Whatever, freedom. We're not talking about that. Shalom, Jucat. Thank you. Well, that shows how much you know there, freedom. Yeah, don't be rude, man. So your last comment. Let me point out the stupidity. I am not Jewish, so no, this is not my Sabbath. Where do I start? I don't care if you're Jewish or not. So why do you say that? I just like when they expose themselves, Bonnie. And then we could watch them be stupid for a while, then we can get rid of them. We can all be righteous if we keep the Ten Commandments. Right, Cleo. It's a crazy group of people there. Hey, Sunkist. So there was an instance of projection out of freedom. Wants to bring race into it. He wants to question God's law. He wants to cause chaos in a nice chat room. Who do you think his guy is? All men are created equal. relive the Bart victory. What a strong guy he is right now. That was a great reunion outside the jail for him. Sherry visited him 5 or 6 times while he was in there, while he was going through some of the worst of the treatment he was getting. He experienced radiation burns horribly, which means they didn't, you know, give him the right dose. And now he's out. He's out of DC. Yeah, that was a great video that Glory B shot. Glory B shot that video. It was awesome. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. So, I'm looking at this Sunkist and G-Pad. Is there 45 people in here right now? We move up here. I had some prime real estate there. I'm going to let somebody else enjoy it too. Like this side of the river here is a hillside, but right there it was flat under the tree. Plus there's some good sights out here on the other side of the road. I forgot where I parked. Oh, there it is. That's the cool thing about flying flags when you park your car. You can find your car easier in the parking lot. go, Sylvia. There's the link. Yeah, that's right, Colleen. We all have to join together, G-Pat, you're right. Unite. They serve their God how they see fit. We serve our God how we see fit. Muslims serve their God how they see fit. That's all good till you got a group of people that have no God. Or their God is Lucifer. Yeah, Greg, here we got some people playing ball. This is a beautiful big grassy field. A lot of times I wish it was a parking lot though, because the parking is pretty bad down here. There's not a whole lot of it. But the Lincoln Memorial's right down there at the end of the street here. And they get some big events there. We went and saw Ron Paul spoke there, and I think Anna Polina was another one of the speakers. No, it was Tulsi Gabbard. Me and Sherry went there. We met Susan Monk while we were there. It was cool. I was like 5 feet away from Ron Paul when he walked back to his car. I mean, cities are cool, and there is a thing that's very cool about cities. And DC's a gorgeous one with all the open parkland and things. But hey, Sapphire. How you doing? He's hanging out here, man. It is just gorgeous. Got any updates, Sherry? You coming back? Are you staying there? You going home? I haven't said anything. It is beautiful here. Is it beautiful where you are? Did you grow up here, Greg? Yeah, Glory B put a beautiful video out. Awesome. A Twitter space. I hope somebody puts it out so I can see it on YouTube or Rumble or something. Hey, geez, Shannon. We're just hanging out. We did J6 News earlier. Went over some other news. Talked about God for a while. Played with a troll. G-Pat's got a wrench. The chat still works. It's a beautiful day in DC. I'm thinking 80 degrees right now. Yeah, I want to go up and get a shot of that. I haven't been there in a while. Or the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial here either. And I may keep the stream going for that. I don't know. Hey, Nebraska. Saw you were streaming today. Right before I started mine up, I checked you out. You'll know what to do, G-Pat. You'll know what to do when the time comes. This is where all the cherry trees are too in the spring. Glory B caught that action too. We were trying to drive down here to see it. The traffic jams were horrible. So we just flipped Glory B on. She was walking right underneath them, filming them. Streamers. It's a pretty cool thing. All right, Nebraska, you going to the Kansas rally. Awesome. Little man's getting big, too. That kid's gonna be something else, Nebraska. I'm just practicing camera work here. That's gonna go on for a while. He won't stop eating for a long time. He's got a good mom. I got a lot of good Patriot stories if I ever get to meet him. Does anybody have anything they want to add to the Luke Wilson letter today? Hey, Metal is Joy. Good to see you. Yeah, we're just taking a walk. I don't Don't get down here very often. Tired of yelling at them tyrants at the courthouse. Taking a day off and enjoying God's beauty. I think number one rule when filming is un-telephoto it before you start carrying it around. Otherwise it gets me seasick when I'm watching that. It starts jumping around and yeah, hard to watch.
They were making like these emotional speeches, and like everybody in the back was just talking to them, not hear them at all. Yeah. And then also, I just felt like I don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys are the golden patriots too. I know you guys are hardcore patriots just because I see you everywhere. You are up on it. We know what's going on. Nice to have a nice bench here. Yeah, 3 p.m. Twitter space with Bart. Can't wait to hear that too. Hey, Diane Shell. Oh, I love that Diane Shell. Inside the rotunda is inscripted, I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson, that is potent. Wish I had a kayak right now. Hey, LA Forgiven, how do you do? Hi, Denise Green. Can you all see that chat that I just posted? Okay, so I figured out how to post a chat. Now, how do I take it down? Different chat. Thanks, LA. I'd have to delete the comment, so I don't know if I'm erasing it from the whole chat or not. Delete. Sure thing, sir. We're all zoomed in on the memorial there.
Oh, you're nice. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I got you, bro.
There we go. Okay, I'm figuring things out too. I'm learning a thing or two here today. Yeah, Metal's Joy. Got the flag out too. So I did hear, I think it was Lauren Boebert saying that as soon as Congress gets back in here this September, there's going to be articles of impeachment. And then I think Matt Gaetz was next to her shaking his head, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And here we go again. Hey, Jay Jones. I'm just hanging out, getting some pretty sights in after we talked about the news. Probably go to the courthouse maybe after this. People in their cars look like ants. On this bridge. I think I'm going to go over and check out the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial. Should be right down here. Town had a parade, Jay. Yeah, Jay. You're my Texas hero, brother. Jump in on the end of that parade with some flags. Nice. Yeah, I do not like that memorial to George Washington either. And I would love to just deep dive into the whole construction of that, because there's some weird stuff there. Freemasonry. There's all kinds of plaques up in that thing. They used to have this other memorial there where Washington was like a Greek god, literally. That statue is in the American History Museum, but it used to be sitting there. Then they started building that thing. That's where it's white until it gets up to the top. And something about the quarry they got the stones from. All kinds of stuff like that. That would be a great deep dive. And I'm sure it would uncover stuff, because that, all right, there's the whole thing where the U.S. is a corporation. It's kind of been floating in the back of the news lately, which could be a whole distraction story, but I think the Washington Monument was all designed right around that time. And that first layer was put in there, and then it remained unfinished for a long time. Did it remain unfinished until we started borrowing money from Britain? Or something like that? What will we find if we do a deep dive on that? Marble in Washington came from North Georgia. Yeah, there's something to the sources of the stone too. There's some Tennessee marble here. There is a lot of fake marble here, believe it or not, which is outstanding looking, but I didn't realize so much of it was faux. And even some of the old Egyptian stuff was fake marble. It looks like a pillar, but it's actually a concrete thing with plaster on it, and then they paint it a certain way, they put a certain finish on it. It's an art. Oh man, Jay, you handed out 20 small flags to the children. God bless you, brother. That's pretty funny, Colleen. It's kind of funny. Some people will walk all the way around me just so they don't get on camera. And they don't know, but they're being filmed right now anyways. Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial. Let's take a look around. Well, yeah, if, Greg, do you know about like Egyptian architecture and stuff? I looked into that for a while. I always thought it was weird that they had Egyptian architecture in our country. May this pagoda symbolize the spirit of friendship between the United States of America and Japan, manifested in the Treaty of Peace, Amity, and Commerce, signed at Yokohama on March 31st, 1854, by the plenipotentiaries of the two countries. Plenipotentiary is. Yeah, the Egyptians, they were around the time of Solomon, who is supposedly the father of Freemasonry. Or they go back, they claim Solomon, but I don't know. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, President of the United States, 1933 through 1945. Restroom here, a rare commodity.
Já chegaste? Pergunta ao Rubem, Maria, o que é que eu quero lá? Como assim?
So this says freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, freedom from fear. Wish I had my rock climbing shoes. Would be a great traverse. Looks a lot like the stone that the Pennsylvania bridges and stuff are made of with the railroads. A lot like it. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with strong and active faith. I don't think it's travertines in these. It looks like red granite. There's a pinkish red to it. Pink granite, that's what I would call it. Yeah. This is cool. I want one of these in my house. I don't know, Greg. It looks a little manky. I got my swimming clothes on now. No money. We got some loose stones down there, though. Have to come rebuild this one soon. This would be the coolest climbing wall ever. Yeah, an in-ground pool. And if you fell off the rocks, you just fell into the deep end. No doubt, Diane Shell. bullfrogs would definitely be cool. That would make it even cooler. Love the stonework here. Funny, Colleen. We're too old for skinny dipping, and now we're just chunky dumping. Oh, the frogs turned gay, Cleo. Yeah, right, Greg. From an artistic standpoint, this is a dam about ready to burst, maybe. Man, it looks like an old dam that's leaking all over the place. USA in here. Hey, what's up, Sean? That zoo was a propaganda. I mean, the propaganda was everywhere in that zoo. That's the place you take your children there. And all they're looking at the animals. That's cool. That's all they want to see. And then their mom and dad are reading them signs like, "And humans are gonna ruin the world, and climate change is gonna make the polar bears die." And it's just a propaganda. production. They take our money, build a zoo, and then they use it as a propaganda device for our children. I like hanging out with hysterical people, Colleen. They're fun. Laughter is the best medicine. There you go, G-Pat, easy. Make sure to subscribe, folks. That's how you support us. And pray. Pray for us, too. Sister got too close to the monkeys at the zoo and they snatched her hair off. It sounds like Curious George and the man with the yellow hat. I won't tell you what the monkeys did in front of my grandchildren. I'm sure that's the only thing they remember from the zoo, too. After the music are gifts from God. Food of life, nature's medicine. So true, Colleen. God gives us everything we need. We just gotta find it. He's gotta reveal it. We get to discover it and appreciate it. I can't wait to hear the music. I will mention the monkeys.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, gorillas are freaky looking there, Diane Shaw. There was a monkey up in the Milwaukee Zoo that was named Samson. They had a big glass wall on it. And he would start from the back of the cage and run and bash into the glass. It was like the thing to see there in Milwaukee. Here we have Eleanor Roosevelt, first United States delegate to the United Nations. Sur Baraka. See what Eleanor has to say. The structure of world peace cannot be the work of one man or one party or one nation. It must be a peace which rests on the cooperative effort of the whole world. Eleanor, were you a globalist? Unless the peace that follows recognizes that the whole world is one neighborhood and does justice to the whole human race, the germs of another world war will remain as a constant threat to mankind. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. We are nations. God created us, split us up into nations. I would call that an anti-God statement. Sounds like one world order, Cleo, doesn't it? The whole world is one neighborhood. We have a scene of a funeral, it looks like here. The lead horse is veiled. the casket. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people following it. Yeah, it looks like bronze. Surprised nobody's peeled it off the wall and sold it for scrap. You got a lot of great information, Greg Kelly. Thanks for being here, bud. You're making this a pleasurable experience today. More than an end to war. We want an end to the beginnings of all wars. I can get on board with that. Oh, I'm going backwards through this stuff. So this is all the fourth term. We just read the fourth term stuff. The funeral, that statement. We have faith that future generations will know that here, in the middle of the 20th century, there came a time when men of goodwill found a way to unite and produce and fight to destroy the forces of ignorance and intolerance of slavery and war. Look at this stone. This one rock is huge. See that? That's darn near 23 feet long and 6 feet tall. It's a big stem. That's a puppy. Everybody loves a puppy. Can't forget the coffee. They who seek to establish systems of government based on the regimentation of all human beings by a handful of individual rulers call this a new order. It is not new and it is not order. Okay. Just to get on board with that. Hey, Freedom Misfits. Get the AC going. As if this stone fell out of the wall. Hey there, Cindy. You probably know where we are. Yeah, it's like they made it purposely that way to look like one block fell out, which leads us back to our theory that this is a broken dam with water about to gush out. Freedom Misfits. We are at the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Memorial in Washington, D.C. Because I hate war. And that rock is broken and fallen. It's weird. I've seen war on land and sea. I've seen blood running from the wounded. I've seen the dead in the mud. I've seen cities destroyed. I've seen children starving. I've seen the agony of mothers and wives. I have seen war, and I hate war. I hate war. I hate war. I hate war. We must scrupulously guard the civil rights and civil liberties of all citizens, whatever their background. We must remember that any oppression, any injustice, any hatred is a wedge designed to attack our civilization. So it's a dam being built there. That's the symbology. It's a dam being built. All right, Denise, we'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by. It's a great representation. Absolutely nothing. Say it again. I propose to create a civilian conservation corps to be used in simple work More important, however, than the material gains will be the moral and spiritual value of such work. Yeah, I can get on board with that too. Civilian Conservation Corps was awesome. And that is probably why we won World War II. They were a pre-trained, pre-disciplined army ready to go, ready to enlist. It's time to extend planning to a wider field. In this instance of comprehending in one great project many states directly concerned with the basin of one of our greatest rivers. My grandfather was in the CTC, and then he served on a destroyer in World War II. Traveled all across America, and anytime I can find a CCC site, I go check it out. Never forget that I live in a house owned by all the American people, and that I have been given their trust. Man in a room. This looks like FDR listening to the radio. Yeah, it's bread lines. Yeah, some great history. Time when there was a lot of peril going on in the country. So how much of that turmoil was fabricated, you know? Was the Great Depression? Crisis solution? Create the crisis, give them the solution. Social Security. World War II, caused by World War I. Okay, thanks for stopping in, brother. You did your work today at the parade, man. 20 kids are going to remember the dude that handed them a flag today. That's awesome. Show these kids patriotism. American citizens, there should be no forgotten men and no forgotten races. Unless Joe Biden's flying by. The only thing we have to fear itself. All right, Jay, flags out. Flags out, Patriot. Makes it easy to find your car later. I pledge you, I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people. Don't know about that. Kind of like that Constitution. Memorial in Washington, D.C. We walked through it backwards. Oh wow, that happens to me all the time. All right, Cleo. See you down on the corner tonight. Franklin's illness gave him strength and courage he had not had before. He had to think out the fundamentals of living and learn the greatest of all lessons. Infinite patience and never-ending persistence. Well, that was fun. would say war is necessary at times, Colleen. It's an ugly truth. Never to be the instigator. Alright, we got 2 bathrooms here. What a luxury. Well, this was a nice break from the courthouse. Almost a day off. When we're under attack, I don't think there is a day off anymore. Not till we got answers. Not till we got convictions. Not till we got an election. Not till we find out what happened in Maui and what is happening in Maui. Yeah, I remember I was like 15 years old before I figured out FDR was in a wheelchair. So that's interesting, man. We stretched our brains. Thank you, Greg Kelly, for your input on this. That was wonderful, man. That was a beautiful thing, dude. You took time out of your day. You know things about this. You shared it with us. Thank you so much, man. Building and destroying are very similar. I always used to say the only thing better than construction was destruction, when we got to tear something down and then we'd always build something back, you know. But destruction was fun. Get the jackhammers out and the sawzalls and the sledgehammers and a dumpster and a dump truck, bulldozer. We tore down an old building up in Lake Wenatchee. The guy did it on a giant excavator, and he chewed like the walls on half of the house out. So half of the house was there, but the whole roof was still on it. And then he just grabbed the roof with the bucket and pulled it down. The whole house tipped over. And about 500 bats flew out of it. In the middle of the day. They didn't know where to go. But they couldn't stay there anymore. Well, it was fun, Patriots. I'm glad you stuck around with me. We got the news at the beginning of this broadcast. We got the J6 updates at the beginning of this broadcast. So check that out if you want to get the news. Having another night at Freedom Corner, and we'll hope to see you there. I'll be up there tonight. So I'm gonna grab some food, sit by the river a little longer, and I'll see you there at Freedom Corner at 7 o'clock tonight, Patriots. Thanks for sticking around. Hit the like on the way out, subscribe, spread the word about this new YouTuber dude, 00 Jericho. And I am over and out.